Hi everyone, welcome to the class once again. I hope you are all doing good and in the best of your health. So after learning the concepts of this chapter current electricity, let's practice some question based upon the CBSE board examination that will be asked in your class 12 board examination. Let's go ahead with the first question of the day. This is a 1 mark question, question 1 to 2, 1 mark question. So we have the first question, show variation of resistivity of copper. We have resistivity of copper as a function of temperature in graph. So we all know that the resistivity increases with temperature. So if I show you, this will be somewhat like this, and this is how the resistivity will vary as temperature rises. In terms of Kelvin it's mentioned, and here we have resistivity mentioned with proper units, that is ohm meter. This is the unit, I am mentioning it here. So it will rise in this way. We all know that resistivity rho is equal to rho naught 1 plus alpha delta T. This is how the resistivity varies in case of temperature rise or change in temperature. Very simple graph. We all have the equation, and based upon the equation we can mention this graph in this way. Next case, let us go with the next question. Write a relation between current and drift velocity of electrons in a conductor. Use this relation to explain how the resistance of a conductor changes with the rise in temperature. So again we have to find out the variation of resistance with temperature, because we have to say how the resistance of a conductor changes with rise in temperature. We all know that current is related with drift speed as I equals to NEAVD. Symbols have the usual meaning. Number of electrons per unit volume, E is electronic charge, A is the area of cross section, VD is the drift velocity, I is the current. So write relation between current and drift velocity. We have written that. Use this relation to explain how the resistance of a conductor changes with rise in temperature. We all know that. Now in case of temperature, first understand I equals to V by R, and this is equal to NEAVD. We all know that with rise in temperature, VD is going to decrease. So if VD is going to decrease, resistance is going to increase. Try to understand. As T increases, VD decreases. Actually the average drift speed, that is what we are saying, that decreases. So if this increases, this decreases, that means resistance will increase. So hence R increases. That is what we can mention here in this case. Next case after this, two simple questions but conceptual. Third question we have, it's a 2 mark question. A metal rod of square cross sectional area A having length L and has current I flowing through it. When a potential difference of V volt is applied across its end, that is figure 1, we have L length, A area of the cross section, V is applied, I is flowing. Now the rod is cut parallel to its length. Rod is cut parallel to its length into two identical pieces and joined as shown in figure 2. They are joined as shown here. What potential difference must be applied across the length of 2L so that the current in the rod is still I? We all know that I equals to V by R, and let us say the material has resistivity rho, so R can be written as rho L by A. Now here first of all you understand the length is L, area of cross section is A, so R equals to L by A, that is what we have written. So I will be equal to V by R, so rho L by A we have written here. Now in figure 2, you all try to see here in figure 2, it has been asked, find out what potential difference must be maintained across the length of 2L so that the current in the rod is still I. Current is still I, that is we need to take care. What is the potential difference that we have to apply? So I is equal to new potential difference V dash, let us say rho, and its resistance. You see the length will become 2L, area will become A by 2. So length 2L, area has become A by 2. This 2 will come here, it will become 4. So this will come out to be V dash by 4 rho L by A. We got this. Now I has to be same. So if I replace this as V rho L by A, I has to be the same. So I am replacing from here to here. So V rho by rho L by A is equal to, now you observe here, V dash by 4 rho L by A. We got this. Now how the potential difference is related? You see that everything will be cancelled out. V dash will be equal to 4 times of original potential difference. So that is, you will have to apply a potential difference V that will be equal to 4 times of this V. So I am mentioning here V dash will be equal to 4 times of original V that has been applied. So this was the case. Now let's go ahead with the next part. Now we have the next question of the class, and that is question number 4. Estimate the average drift speed of conduction electrons in a copper wire of cross sectional area this carrying a current of 1.5 ampere. Assume the density of conduction electrons to be 9 to 10 power 28 per cubic meter. Everything is given. Estimate the average drift speed. We know the relation I equals to NEA VD, and here it is given as VD we have to evaluate I upon NEA. I is given as, you see it is given 1.5 ampere, N is given as 9 to 10 power 28 and E is 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 divided by, and then area of cross section A 1 to 10 power minus 7. I will give you an approximate answer. It is a calculation part that you have to try. So what I am going to do, I am just going to remove this dot, and here I will be having, if I take 15, if I take here 90 and 10 from here, if I take here, this will become 6 times, it will go, and 10 I am cancelling out, it will become 27. That is what I have done, and finally the relation comes out to be 1 upon 16 into 6, 96, 10 to power 27 minus 19 will give you 10 to power 8, and 10 to power 8 minus 7, 10 to power 1. So this will become here 27 minus 19, 10 to power 8, then here we have 10 to power minus 7, 10 to power 1, here it becomes 10 to power minus 1, and let me write here, this 10 will be in the denominator, 1 upon 960. So this will come out to, if you just check it, if I write, it will become 0.10 if I add, then 0, then 10, then 0, then 0.001, then 60, 600, somewhere around 1.00104, something like this it will come. So this will come out to be 1.04 into 10 to power minus 3. You can just check it, you will get something approximately like this, meter per second. So that is what you can check from the calculation. Try it on your own calculation. That might be some part that which I might have missed, but I have tried my best to reach the right result. You may just check it, simply put up the values, calculate it, you will get the required result. Next part, next question we have. Conductor of length L is connected to a DC source of potential V. If the length of the conductor is tripled by gradually stretching it, keeping V constant, how will the drift speed of electrons and resistance of the conductor be affected? Justify your answer. First of all, drift speed of electrons. First, let us try to understand it. Conductor we have, and it's connected to a battery. Let us say this is the conductor, it's connected to a battery. Let us say the EMF of this battery is, let us say V. We have to talk about drift speed. Now, drift speed I am comparing Vd initial upon Vd final, let us say. We all know that drift velocity is proportional to the electric field which exists here. So I am writing here electric field initial upon electric field final. E I am using for electric field, and electric field is what? Potential difference divided by length. Potential difference initial divided by length, and finally the length is what? You see here, if the length of the conductor is tripled by gradually stretching it, keeping V constant, V is constant, length is tripled, and V is constant, so I can use only one V, not required to use V initial, V final. This is what we can do in this case. Now I have reached here, so finally I can say that this 3 will go up, and I'll be obtaining this is equal to 3, or final drift speed is reduced by factor 3. Final drift speed is initial drift speeds by 3. This is the relation. So first, keeping V constant, how will drift speed of electrons change? So that will be decreased by a factor 3. It will be reduced by a factor 3. Resistance of the conductor be affected. Justify your answer. Resistance. How the resistance is affected? Now we all know that I is equal to NEAVD. We all know this. Resistance I want to compare, or we can write R equals to rho L by A. This is also we can use for the conductor, or even you can use this, and you can reach on to the value of resistance. So if I use this, R equals rho L by A. Now L is increased, and area of cross section, try to understand, if the length of conductor is tripled by gradually stretching it, so volume will remain same. So initially the length is in this way. Initially the length is given in this way, and finally it's tripled. So volume will be same. So I can write initial length L into area, final length is 3L into final area A dash will come out to be A by 3. So resistance, if I compare new resistance or R final, that will be rho, that will remain same, length is 3L and area A is A by 3, so it will become 9 times. Very simple, you can find out that this will become 9 times of original resistance. That is what you are finding here. That is what you can do in this case. So I hope that each explanation suffices your requirement and you are learning with all this. 3 marks question, find the relation between drift velocity and relaxation time of the charge carriers in a conductor. So relation between drift velocity and relaxation time, we have done this, and I will tell you again. A conductor of length L is connected to a DC source of EMF E. If the length of the conductor is tripled by stretching it, keeping E constant, explain how drift velocity would be affected. We have done just now this. Find the relation between the drift velocity and relaxation time of charge current. Drift velocity Vd and relation between relaxation time tau t. Now in any conductor, first try to understand. Let's say the electric field that is existing, that is given as E. So force acting on electron will be given as electronic charge into this. Acceleration A will be given as E by mass m, or A I am writing as E by m. Now speed, if I use V equals U plus AT, so U is 0, A by m into relaxation time tau t. So we got this relation drift speed, which I have used, that comes out to be E by m into tau t. E is the field that has been applied. Find the relation between drift velocity and relaxation time that we have just now did here of charge carriers in a conductor. A conductor of length L is connected to a DC source of EMF E. So EMF voltage is given, that is E. The length of conductor is tripled by stretching it, keeping E constant. Explain how its drift velocity would be affected. Just now we have done drift velocity gets reduced by a factor 3. Just now we have done. And why is it so? Because potential difference remains same, but length is increased. We all know that there will be variation in electric field, and from there, just now in the last question we have done that why drift velocity is reduced by a factor 3. So I am moving further ahead. Next part after this, here we have a network of resistors is connected to a 16 volt battery of internal resistance of 1 ohm. It's given here as shown in figure. Compute the equivalent resistance of the network. Not too tough, I will be showing here. 4 and 4 equivalent 8, 12 and 6. So just to divide this, multiply 12 into 6, 72, divide by 12 plus 6, 18, 72 by 18, that will give you 4. So 4 of this, 1 here, so this will become 8 plus 1, 9 plus 4, 13, 13 plus 1, 14 ohm. So I am writing net resistance, that comes out to be 14 ohms. equivalent resistance of the network, we got 14 ohms. Obtain the voltage drop VAB and VCD. So across VAB and VCD voltage drop we have to find out. Try to find out the current. Current is what? I equals to V by R, and V is given as 16, R is 14. This is the value of current. So voltage drop across AB, if you just see, that will give us V equals to IR, 8 into I 16 by 14 into 8, this will give you the required answer. 16 into 8, this will give you 4 times, 7 times, 16 into 4, 64 by 7, somewhere around 9, 1 by 7, that will give you 1, 9.14, something like this, volt. V equals to IR I have used. Similarly for VCD also, for VCD the net resistance is 4 ohm, V equals to IR you may use, because current we know that has come out to be 16 by 14 or 8 by 7 into 4. This will again give you 2 times 7 times 32 by 7, 4.5 something like this. Further you can calculate. Not too tough for you all to make it out how simple this is for us to evaluate. CBSE questions are not too tough. If you know the concepts, you can easily solve them and you can score well. If you know the concepts of each chapter, you can easily solve questions based upon them. This one's question which I will show you how to do it. Write the principle of working of a meter bridge. Meter bridge principle very simple, it's based upon Wheatstone bridge, balanced Wheatstone bridge case. This is the thing. It's a case of balanced Wheatstone bridge. 4 resistance P, Q, or let me write here in this way, P, Q, R, S is connected, and here we have a galvanometer and it's balanced. So if P by Q equals to R by S, there will be no current through this galvanometer, it will show zero deflection. That is the principle of Wheatstone bridge, and on this only principle meter bridge works. Now for this case, in a meter bridge the balance point is found at a distance L1. This is the distance L1 with resistance R and S as shown in the figure, and a known resistance X is now connected in parallel to resistance S, and the balance point is found at a distance L2. Obtain a formula for X in terms of L1, L2 and S. Not for too tough for us to make it out. So I will be using the figure. Now see this, first of all we can say that R by S will be equal to L1 upon 100 minus L1. In the first balanced case, we can write R by S is equal to L1 upon 100 minus L1. First case. Now second, here you see X is now connected in parallel to resistance X. Here we have an X connected. This is the thing. Now this and this and this and this are in balanced state, but the length has changed to L2. New length, the balance length is L2. So we can write R by this resistance, that will be coming out to be Sx divided by S plus X is equal to L2 upon 100 minus L2. We want to find out the value of X in terms of L1, L2 and S. So what to do, R value if you put from here, it will be S into L1 upon 100 minus L1. So S into L1 upon 100 minus L1 is the value of R, and here we have Sx divided by S plus X is equal to L2 divided by 100 minus L2. Simple, S and S cancelled out, and here we have S plus X will go in the numerator part, and this 100 minus L1 will come in the denominator part. S plus X we got here, and here you have L1, so I am multiplying here L1 divided by X into 100 minus L1, X into 100 minus L1 is equal to L2 upon 100 minus L2. L2 divided by 100 minus L2. Now you just see here all the terms we got here, all the terms x, s in L1, L2 terms we have got. We have to simply simplify this and we have to find out the value of x. So what do you do? If I divide every term by s, or it's better if I open the bracket, then I have to make the subject x. I have to make subject x, and finally we can come to the final result. So it's just calculation part that has been left. So s into L1 plus x into L1, and this term can be multiplied with 100 minus L2 is equal to x into L2 multiplied with 100 minus L1. So now just simply what you do, you can take this x into L1 term in that side. You will be getting s L1 100 minus L2 is equal to x, and here you will be having L2 100 minus L1, and here you will be having minus L1. So what I am going to do, I am going to take this as common, minus L1 100 minus L2. Hope that it's visible up till this end. I hope that that's clear. So now if I make the subject x, so I'll be getting x is equal to s L1 100 minus L2 divided by this rest term. Now see, it's L2 into 100 minus L1 into 100, so 100 L2 minus L1. This thing we can write, and here you see minus L1 L2, and here I am having minus L1 L2. So minus into minus plus L1 L2, and here minus L1 L2. That will be cancelled out. So this is the final term that we are going to have. So this is the term that we were looking for, this relation. Finally x we got in terms of L1 L2 and s. Complicated calculation, but still we have done this, and in the same way you can proceed to obtain such kind of questions result. Next part, next question we have, ninth one. Use Kirchhoff rules to obtain the balance condition in a Wheatstone bridge. Now it's very simple in Wheatstone bridge. The Kirchhoff rule, if I have already have shown in the class, that you have to form loop and apply Kirchhoff rule everywhere to obtain the net result. See, first of all, it's a balanced case. Understand, it's a balanced case. So if I connect a resistance here, there has to be no current flowing through this. So what I am going to do, no current is flowing through this. I have to make such assumption, move there is no current because it's a balanced case. So finally if I apply Kirchhoff loop law, one across this and one across this, so I will be having the relation that will come out to be, which we have done in our regular class, P by Q equals to R by S, which you can just check in our regular class lesson, which we have already proved. So we are not taking more time on this. Now calculate the value of R in the balance condition of the Wheatstone bridge. If the carbon resistor connected across the arm CD has the color sequence red, red and orange as shown in figure. This is the sequence of the color in this resistance in this diagram. Let's check here how to solve this. First of all, RRO resistance I am going to find out. We all know that in BB Roy color coding 0, 1, 2, R stands for 2. So R, R, O, red, red, orange. So 22 into 10 to power, orange will stand for 3 into 10 to power 3 ohm. This is the value of resistance. Now calculate the value of R in the balanced Wheatstone of the, you have to find out the value of R. So here you see this is a case of connected across the arm CD. Okay, calculate across arm CD. So let me just tell you, calculate the value of R in the balanced condition of the Wheatstone bridge if the carbon resistor connected across the arm CD has the color sequence red, red and orange as shown in figure. Very simple, we have to evaluate this. So I can write 2R by R equals to 2R by RRO part. So if I use this, 2r by r equals to 2r by this CD part. Very simple, 2r are same, so this CD and r has to be same. So r comes out to be same, 22 into 10 to power 3 ohm, because CD is 22 into 10 to power 3 ohm, because CD part is 22 into 10 to power 3 ohm. So r will be also same. You can see, check the ratio, you will get it as per the given diagram. This will be the required result. Derive an expression for drift velocity of electrons in a conductor, hence deduce Ohm's law. Now already we have done this in our regular class, that we can reach onto the result I equals to NEA VD. That is what we can actually use it, but let us try to derive it, derive an expression for drift velocity of electrons in a conductor, hence deduce Ohm's law. We all know that Ohm's law we have to prove V equals to I into R. That is what we have to prove, and already we have done this. So I'll be doing this. What you do, I will start at the other end. You just take note till here. I will start at the other end. Okay, just now you see we'll be using this relation later on. First of all, let's say across the conductor we have applied an electric field E. So force acting on the electron in the same way, it will be EE. Acceleration will be EE by m, and drift velocity that it has possessed, that will be coming out to be EE by m into tau, where tau is the relaxation time. Now electric field we can write as V by L. So E tau by m, V by L. I am using this electric field E is equal to V by L from here. So we got this value of Vd. So can I replace here Vd? I we have this. So we have I equals to, this is to prove, I equals to N E A, and Vd is E tau by m V by L. We got this. Now resistance, you know, resistance we have shown that it will be ml upon Ne square A tau. So if you compare this, you will be getting I is equal to V by R. If you compare this, we are getting I equals to V by R, and this is what we were interested to show, I equals to V by R. So from here we have also deduced the Ohm's law. Derive an expression for drift velocity of electrons in the conductor, we have did that. Okay, Vd, and then we have also deduced Ohm's law. Now a wire whose cross section area is increasing linearly from its one end to the other is connected across a battery of V volts. Which of the following quantities remain constant in the wire? Try to understand how the figure will look like. It's increasing linearly. This is how the wire will be increasing. It's connected across a battery. Which of the following quantities remain constant in the wire? Drift speed. Now see, drift speed will actually change. That has to change. Current density will remain same. Electric current will remain same everywhere. Electric field will remain same everywhere, and justify your answer. Now see, it's various reasons. Now see, for drift speed, you see it changes. Vd is equal to I by, and now if I say it's NEA, A will be changing at every part. So drift speed is going to change because current is going to remain the same. Current will not change. Current is going to remain same, and that's why Vd actually changes. So which of the following quantities remain constant? These are the things. Current density will remain constant, electric current will remain constant, and electric field will remain constant. Now before winding up, I will request you all just take note till here, and I will start at the other end. Take note till here. Okay, now one more thing, I have just said that about current density also, but current density has to change. Why? Because that is equal to J equals to I by A. So area of cross section is changing, I will remain same, so current density will also change. So things that are changing, that is drift speed is changing, and I will write here drift speed is changing, current density is changing, okay, and the things that are remaining constant, those are current and electric field. That will not depend upon the dimension of the wire. So, these are all the facts about such kind of arrangement. Hope that you have got what we have did in today's class about the current electricity. I request you all to practice more question on the same chapter. It will be of great help to you all. Practice more, that will be beneficial. I wish you all the very best, and thank you everyone. Let's meet in the next class.